Hey you guys, so from the title of this video, you guys know what I'm about to talk about. So I'm not even gonna waste y'all time giving y'all a big intro. I'm just gonna get right into it. So I officially took my Nclex June 26th, which was this Wednesday, and coming into this Nclex, I felt okay. I didn't feel very confident. I know some people before they take their Nclex, they're like, yeah, I feel really ready, I feel really good. I did not. I had bought UWorld, and I know people are going to ask, how did you study? I bought UWorld, and UWorld, I bought the 30-day, and then I extended it, and my friend extended it for twice, so that added up to 2 weeks. And it came with like over 2,000 questions, and UWorld is really, really good. Like the pictures, the rationales, the questions, it's really, really good. It does really help you. It is a little expensive. It's like $115, and it goes up from there, but I do think it was really helpful. The questions, how they were worded, everything, it works really good. So if you are taking Nclex, definitely get your UWorld. But I just use UWorld. That's all I was using, and I was not studying deep like some people I've seen. Like I follow a lot of nurse grads on Instagram. Like I feel like we all have our own little community. Like we all are like kind of cool. So I follow a couple on Instagram, and I used to see some of them, and everybody's like studying every day, doing, I see videos, and I'm looking stuff up, and people are like, I study every day for 4 hours in the daytime and 4 hours at night, or I do 75 questions in the morning and 75 questions before bed, or I do 100 questions per day. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna do that. And then once I got UWorld and the summer kicked in and laziness kicked in and working kicked in, it was downhill. Some days I did 75 questions. Some days I did 10 questions. Some days I did 30 questions. Some days I did nothing. Some days I did 2. It just depends. Some days I would wake up, I'll say I'm going to study today. Next thing you know, I'm watching TV, I'm taking a nap, I'm going outside, I'm playing with my sister, I'm going on, here, there. And some days I will go a couple days in the week and not study. So if you guys want to know how I study for Nclex, don't be like me. At least try to do at least maybe 30 questions a day, or 15. That's like a good amount. Something every day. But I was given the bare minimum. Like some people like writing out rationale, things they missed. I did nothing. I would do as many questions until I felt lazy, and I would be like, I'm done. I'm out of here. I don't want to do this. My brain was so fried from school. I was so tired. I was working. I just started a new job. I was like, nah. So coming into the Nclex, I started to freak out because I was like, oh my gosh. I thought I had I knew I wanted to give myself at least a month of studying. So when it came, I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like I haven't been studying enough. I had a lot of questions. I think me and my friend shared UWorld, but between us two, we both had still like 500 questions left on our UWorld account. So I was like, oh my gosh. And on UWorld, I wasn't doing that great. Like I would get like 40 sometimes on my quizzes, or 50s or 60s. And then my highest one though, like in the 80s, was prioritizing, and prioritizing, like who would you see first, what room would you put them in. That was my highest on UWorld. Like I was getting good like 80s, high 80s on that. But coming into the Nclex, I did not feel confident. I did not feel confident. I did a whole bunch of questions the 2 days before my test. That was the most I did the whole month. I did like over 300 questions in those 2 days because I was freaking out. I also did some ATI questions. ATI has a system set up to kind of mimic the Nclex, because Nclex is like a test where it's a computerized test that kind of goes off what you miss. So the test, if you start missing a lot, you'll see like the test will kind of change, and possibly they say it gets easier. And then if you're doing good, your questions get harder. And the hardest questions on the Nclex that hold the most weight is select all, the apply, and prioritizing questions. And so we all know select all, apply, we hate them. And prioritizing, as in, again, who should I see first, which patient is in need before this other patient type of questions. Those hold the most weight. Those are called the hardest questions. So the Nclex kind of goes from there. When you miss some, it kind of changes. When you get some right, it changes. It kind of just goes off of how you're doing. And the Nclex, no one knows the standard of passing. They don't tell you. But pretty much the way that whoever makes the Nclex, they say you have to at least be, I believe, above that standard to be considered a competent safe nurse, meaning you can go with your license and not kill somebody, possibly. So that's how the Nclex works. You don't know what you missed. You don't know what you get right. You kind of get an idea when you're taking the test, which I'll get to that, like when you kind of feel like you're doing better than sometimes, but you really don't know. So I did that. And I don't know if I did good or bad. It cut off at like 120 questions, and I felt like a failure. I was like, wow, I'm supposed to be cutting off at 75. And it cut off at like 120, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's a bad sign. So coming into my Nclex, I felt bad. I was on Facebook and Instagram, and everybody and their mama was like, I got 75. I passed in 75. Let me tell y'all what I did to pass in 75. So I was like, maybe I'll be blessed. I prayed hard, and I was like, you know what? Since everyone in my class and all these people who graduated in the same time frame as me, I should pass in 75 too. Maybe 80, but I was really going for 75. So fast forward the day of my Nclex, I didn't get no sleep. I couldn't eat because I felt sick to my stomach. I had like a couple bites of an apple. It's like, I don't feel good. I feel like I gotta throw up. I had to take a dump. I'm sorry, TMI, but I was all messed up. My friend, she was there, luckily, from my class. We both went in there. We hugged. I was like, okay, we both was freaking out. So you get into the testing center, and it's like a room. It's like a Pearson VUE. Pearson VUE has like locations where they test. And I believe they're the ones who run all state tests. Like they don't make all state tests, but they run it, like they administer. So you get in there, you have to bring your ID. You can bring water and your phone and a purse. But if you bring a purse, they have to check it. If you bring a phone, you have to show them that you turned it off, and they have to put it in a bag, and then you have to put it in a locker. You can't keep anything on you. You have to put your palm, before you take your Nclex, you get fingerprinted and palm printed. When you come in there, you have to put your thing on the scanner so they know it's you, show your ID, and they even take a picture of your face. So when I tell you I felt like I was in jail or something, like I was like, oh my gosh, they is not playing with me. So you do all that, and then you go to another side, and it's a lady, or it could be a man, and they pretty much tell you the rules. If you got to get up, raise your hand. Don't be looking around. Don't be doing all the wild stuff. They give you a dry erase kind of paper and a marker, and they say you have to write on that, and you cannot erase anything that you write. They also tell you there's ear plugs in there. They have 2 pairs. One's for sound and one's just to cancel out noise. You don't have to wear them, but I wore mine. And yeah, the test is 6 hours. It might not take you that long. And when you're done, you have to still raise your hand. Someone will come and get you. So I went in there. I sat at my computer. And I had my little earmuffs on. And I was like, oh my gosh, I prayed. I felt like I was going to puke. I was so nervous. I was so scared. I was like, okay, let's do this. Let's do this. So I click it. When you first start, they give you all these practice questions just to give you an idea of how the test is going to be. Once you get through that, and it was only a couple, you actually get to the real SNEAL test. So once I got to the real test, I just took a breath and I was like, all right, let's do this. So I kept going. I felt like I was doing good. Again, the Nclex is something, it goes how good you're doing. It'll be instances where you'll get a lot of hard questions, and then it'll be like you get simple questions. So it was kind of like all over the place. Like I was like, I could kind of feel when I was doing really good, and then I can feel when I was doing sucky. But to the most part, I felt like I was doing okay enough to pass. Like I felt like I am not doing that bad to fail. So I kept going. I was actually going pretty fast. Like I had got to 75, not even an hour. Like it was like 40 minutes. And I'm a fast test taker. I've always been a fast test taker because I'm a fast reader. I can read a whole question front, back, side to side, even over and over again before someone finishes it. Like that's how fast I read. Not even on no play done. I read really fast. I've just always learned to read fast. So by the time I hit 75, it had already been an hour. not even an hour, like 40 minutes. So I was like, well, take your time, go a little slower. But I just naturally go fast on tests. So by the time I got to 75, I kind of took a breath and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so good. I was thinking about my friend. I was like, she's going to be nervous if I get up early. I was like, at least you done, girl. You got to 75. Turn up. Ooh, turn up. So I got to 75. I was like, whew, this is it. 76. I was like, okay. Maybe, maybe that's it. Because I've heard some people stop at 76. Then it was 77. Then it was 78. Then it's 80. And I was like, okay. So then a prompt came on for me and it said, do you want to take a break? So I was like, no. I was like, I'm not taking a break. I'm not doing nothing. I'm not getting up because I'm about to be done with this test. Ain't no way I'm going past 100. Ain't no way. So 100 comes, I'm still going. Next thing you know, I'm at 200. And when I tell you, when I got to 76, I felt my heart drop. I felt like almost, you can feel like the color and the heats and everything just kind of run out your face. That's how I felt. I felt devastated. I felt like I wanted to cry. I just felt defeated. But I kept telling myself, still answer every question, take every question seriously. I kept still praying throughout the test. I was like, you know what, just don't give up. Don't give up. You don't know what's going on. But to me, I felt like, my questions were hard. I felt like I don't think I'm doing that bad. But I just kept going and going and going. Next thing you know, I'm at 200. And at this point, I'm like, I must go and get all the questions. I must be doing really bad. So I get all the way to 264. At this point, in the 200s, my ears are hurting because I have these, I have the earphones to cancel sound out. So I kept moving them. They hurt. My butt hurt, my back hurt, I'm tired, I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, I'm everything. I'm just mad. So I get to 264 and another prompt comes on for me to take a break. And at this point, I'm like, no, I'm not taking a break. I got one more question left. So I'm just so mad and sad. My last question wasn't a select all, it was like a simple, basic question. And then it cuts off. And the funny thing is, like, I hear people talk about the Nclex, they always just say, oh, it just cut off. No one tells you that when your test cut off, you then have practice tests that they don't go towards your grade, but they're just tests that the Nclex people give people to see about when they change the Nclex. Like, they give you questions so that they can see what to keep and what to not when they redo the Nclex or whatever. So I'm just skipping through them. I'm not even trying. I'm like, A, B, moving this, moving that. I was like, I'm ready to get up. Like, I didn't even try. And I'm so sorry because I know they use those questions. And they'll be like, this girl missed everything. Because I was not trying, y'all. I was so sad and defeated. And I just wanted to, like, go and be in a ball somewhere that I didn't even try. It's supposed to take you 30 extra minutes to do the practice. But I got done in, like, 10. Then I got, like, a survey. And then it was done. It cut off. It was over. So at that point, I got up, I raised my hand, she came got me, she got my stuff, made sure it was me. I go in my locker, I got my phone, I went to the bathroom, and I cried. I cried and I cried. Well, first there was a lady in there. I waited till she left, and then I cried. I cried and sat there kind of on the wall in the bathroom. I went pee, cried, I sat on the wall, I cried. My friend ended up texting me, she was like, are you done? I'm waiting, I waited for you. And I was like, yeah. And then she ended up calling me because I was taking a long time. And she was like, you okay? I think she asked if you're okay. And I just cried. Every time someone asks me if I'm okay when I'm not okay, I just cried and cried. So she was like, I'm coming in there. So she came in there and she hugged me. And she was like, it's okay. I know you passed. Were your questions hard? Or were they? And I was like, I felt like they were hard, but I felt like I was doing okay. I felt like I was doing fine for the most part. And she was like, we're going to do the trick when we get to my place. And you passed. Don't worry. And I was like, I got all the questions. I don't feel like I passed. I feel like I did bad. And I just cried, y'all. So we went to her place. We did the Pearson VUE check, trick, which if you graduated, then you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, I will explain it to you. Pearson VUE is the people, again, who administer your test, the Nclex. So when you have to register for the test, you have to put a card number in, you have to purchase it. The trick is that when you go on the site and you put your card number in, If you failed, it will accept your card, or if you put like you change a little bit of the numbers, it will ask you for a new card. If you pass, it will tell you, like a prompt will come up and it will tell you you're already registered for the test, you can't re-register, kind of thing. That's supposed to be the good pop-up. So me and her went to her apartment and we did the trick, and we both got the good pop-up. But at that point, I felt a little bit better, but I felt still really defeated and still really depressed. And I was like, that don't mean nothing to me, because it could be wrong. Doesn't mean it necessarily is right. I need to make sure. So that night I went home and, well, I went and got some food, and I was just depressed. I went and got some food and I was just really depressed, and yeah, I was really depressed. So I cried throughout the day. I would just cry. I went home. I cried so much that I went right to bed that night. And in my dreams, all I kept thinking about is fail, like seeing fail, not pass on my, on my screen. And I was just like, oh my gosh. So I woke up that morning and I woke up really early and I tried to see if my results had posted, and it said no. So then I went back to sleep. I woke back again, and then my friend was like, Jazz, like we have a group text with all of us in our class, and she had Jazz, and she had like the two big bubble eyes, and it had my license number on it. And I was like, let me go double check. I don't believe it. I need to make sure. So insert clip here. I can't believe it. I'm a nurse, you guys. So I had my license number was on the site, and to find your licensing number, that's another trick you can do so you don't have to wait for Pearson to give you results. Usually your licensing number posts in about 24 hours. Now that's not for everybody, which I'll get to that in a second, but a lot of places it does post in 24 hours. So I went on there, and yes, my licensing number, my address, my whole name was on there. So I knew it was definitely, that was my license. And I was so excited, you guys. Like, I don't really know how to explain the feeling, because when you understand when you're in nursing school, or if you graduate nursing school, the feeling, especially me, because getting all those questions is not fun. It's not fun. It takes a lot out of you emotionally, because it just makes you feel bad. And to see that I passed, even though I got all the questions, and to see that I kind of kept it together, I just had to give it to God, because I really had to trust him, and I did, and I feel like it paid off in the long run. Like, I felt so blessed and so happy and so good. And yes, so I am officially Jazz the RN, official. And it feels so weird. It feels so weird because I just remember sitting here in my room telling y'all I got to nursing school, sitting here with y'all, showing you and telling you my struggles and giving you guys advice. And it's like so weird to me that now I am officially a nurse. Like, I can say that I'm a nurse. Like, who's your nurse? It's me. It just feels so good. It feels so good, and I'm so happy and I'm so blessed. And this is just for anyone out there too, that if you're taking the Nclex or you're going to take the Nclex, do not assume, and I know it's going to be really hard, but don't assume because you get all the questions that means that you failed. And that's kind of what I had to do. And if you do keep going on your test, do not give up. Do not stop caring. Do not just say F this test. You need to answer every single question like it's life or death. Every single question. Try your hardest every single question, and it will pay off, y'all. Oh my gosh. So yes, I am officially a nurse. So now we can start my nursing journey. I will do a video on what units, like what I do, because a lot of people ask me, because a lot of people were like, you're probably one of the few new nurse grads who aren't doing NICU or peds or med-surg. So I will talk to you guys about the unit I work in, what that means, what we do, I will be vlogging and doing things about orientation. I will be updating you guys on all that, and I just hope that you guys enjoy me trying to share this journey with you guys. And I just pray for all you guys who are in nursing school or graduating. God got y'all. Just pray, just keep faith, and do not give up. We have made it so far, y'all. We have worked so hard, and just, you gotta keep pushing it to the end. And now I can officially say, bitch, I'm a nurse. So so yes, thank you guys so much for watching, and more